I am a migrant worker too. I know what it feels.
I'm just very grateful to have you all.
Keep doing what you're doing and don't give up.
Hi, my name is Eric Navarrete. I'm 20 years old. I am from Mexico.
Hi, my name is Alea. I am 34 years old and I'm from the Philippines.
My name is Akshat Mehta. I am 28 years old. I come from India.
My name is Hisham Alami. I'm from Morocco and Belgium. I'm now 23 years old.
My name is Felicia Jiang. I'm currently 18 years old and I'm from Taiwan.
My name is Guillermo Balseiro. I am from Colombia. I am 35 years old.
We're from Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand.
From Colombia and the region of El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras.
It's like Nepal and Bangladesh to the most.
People from China.
From the Netherlands and France, Spain and Italy.
And from Venezuela.
Most migrant workers and immigrants come from Taiwan for a better living because back in their hometown, they probably could not earn as much as money as they can working in Taiwan.
Economic benefit. It means a better paying job as compared to their own countries.
Well, the top two main reasons are family and business and better opportunity. For Chinese people, a lot of them are trying to escape the communist government. So they move to the Philippines to find a better political stability. Yeah.
There is a lot of political instability and at the same time economic turmoil in Venezuela. So essentially a lot of people from Venezuela have high inflation. They have at the same time lots of problems with getting basic necessities.
They work for elders in Taiwan who needs help in their daily lives, and a lot of them work in fishing ports. Actually, they work as fishermen. A lot of them also work in factories.
Those kind of jobs that like bartending, they're waitress, sometimes they're household keeping, cleaning houses, cleaning cars in private areas or in car washes companies.
Chinese people. A lot of them, they work as either construction workers or they work in, they call it POGO, which is Philippine Offshore Gaming Operations. It's kind of like a casino. Apparently in China, it's illegal to open a casino. So a lot of businessmen and workers, they come to the Philippines, open this kind of business.
They mostly work as help person in the factory, cleaners and watchmen.
In Belgium, I would say you can find the two dynamics. So people come from low-income countries and do come for manual labor. But I would say the majority are for like more high-end like professionals.
Well, they work at restaurants. They work usually in domestic labor. People who have also worked as coffee laborers.
The minimum wage per day will be about USD 5 per day, which makes about USD 150 per month.
Our minimum wage is among the lowest in Latin America. It's around $220.
They only get like the minimum pay. It's like $260, $70 per month.
This is for the POGO workers. So in USD, that's about $900, which I think it's higher than most local Filipinos' salary. So I think that's why a lot of people are complaining. These construction workers, they make minimum wage, like around $600 a month.
Probably around 21K to 22K, but the wages for migrant workers have actually grew yearly.
The migrant workers make 30% less on average than what is the average wage for a Belgian citizen.
But it is very sad because they are getting very menial jobs and they are not even getting the warranties that they are supposed to get. So the labor market is getting worse.
As for difficulties, I guess maybe discrimination from people. It's more of like a social difficulty. Maybe it would be difficult for them to be friends with locals, so they just stick together.
The restrictions basically will happen in the case of registration of these immigrants when they come to India. Also, they cannot cast their vote in case of voting for a political party or selecting our government.
In Belgium, the restrictions also concern access to, let's say, education for children of migrants and also labor migrants.
Starting in April, these migrant workers could have a path towards permanent residency in Taiwan, a status they don't have access to right now. Taiwan's cabinet just approved a plan which they hope will make the country more attractive to foreign workers and ultimately help relieve Taiwan's labor shortage.
When they saw the qualifications, they're like, impossible. The standards are really still too high for them.
Here, it is very impressive that the government is making a lot of progress about that, and at least they are making an effort for that.
Actually, there is no policy for that. I think they have a deep lack of policies regarding to immigrant population. I mean, there are programs, but they are not held by the Mexican government.
Even if we have policies, you can put in paper a lot of beautiful things. But even if you have them in paper, they are not going to be a reality.
If a migrant worker is coming to India, they can register themselves with the government of India with the local initiative of finding a job. The person working in India is free to switch jobs as per his or her own convenience and whenever they want.
In Belgium, there are important laws and regulations to protect migrants. Recently, there have been also initiatives to fight against human trafficking.
It is a very difficult task for the government of India to accommodate each and every Indian. Therefore, the priority of Indian government still lies with giving jobs to the Indian people as compared to the migrant workers.
A lot of these migrant workers and immigrants who open businesses, they're actually investors and they contribute to taxes, so the government's very welcome.
Actually has little interest in integrate the migrant workers or the migrant labor force to Mexican society. In the Mexican law, there are still some antiquated, old-fashioned laws that restrict the amount of immigrants that companies can hire.
Quite positive. Taiwanese need that much labor for a country to work. So the government actually relies a lot on these migrant workers for them to work for us.
Since the situation of the Venezuelan migrants have been so severe, many governments in the other countries have made the regulations more strict in order to prevent Venezuelan migrants to go to those countries. In Colombia, we are still receiving them.
In Belgium, I would say the population perspective can be sometimes a bit negative. And there's been backlash against Muslim migrants coming from Turkey, coming from North Africa, and from Africa.
Mostly of the Mexican people or Mexican society is quite open to receive and integrate immigration in the common life, including the workforce.
Whereas locals, they see them as competition, so they're not very welcome towards them. But actually, immigrants and local people, I think they should be helping each other.
To be very honest, we have a neutralistic attitude with the migrant workers. We have a little bit of emotional belief to that person, like the life of this particular migrant worker in India must be difficult.
I could see on the news still a lot of negative energy coming towards migrant workers and immigrants, but I think a lot of people are trying their best for Taiwanese people to have a more positive, have a more open mind.
It's sad because some people act in a very xenophobic way, but at the same time, there are a lot of people also doing social work. There are organizations trying to help them.
There's a lot of immigrants from different countries coming to the Philippines. They start opening Korean restaurants, Chinese restaurants that are actually authentic.
The most prominent and the most visible cultural phenomenon in India is about the religion and their cultural beliefs which they bring to India, especially during their local festivities and their holidays. We also have some local country streets in India wherever we find a bigger population of migrant workers.
And usually around train station, there will be a lot of stores, Indonesian stores that sell Indonesian food, or Vietnamese stores that sell special Vietnam cuisines. I've actually seen a Muslim prayer room in a fishing port in Taidong because there are a lot of fishermen. They're Muslim and they need time to pray.
In Belgium, there are some neighborhoods who are famous for Muslim migrants. Some communities revolve around special butcher, like a halal butcher, the mosque, or some physical places, so they have to stick around those.
It is more about like the way that they influence our lives has to do with food. For example, Venezuela's national food is arepas. We also have arepas in Colombia. So you can find a lot of arepas restaurants everywhere.
The older generation are not so open to it. They feel like the essence of being Filipino is starting to disappear, but the younger generation, they accept it.
Indian people are very much welcoming to different people from all around the world and coming to India and letting us know how they actually live their life and spreading the awareness about their culture.
Taiwanese people think that these cultural phenomena are actually really special, and most of them are feeling quite amazed about how the Chinese government cares so much about these migrant workers, which is a great thing.
I can sometimes understand why it can be a bit intimidating. Migrant population completely changes the scenery and the cultural aspect of the host country. But I think it's completely normal that they try to keep their culture, and actually can be very enriching to have in one city.
I like to rate a 2.
It would be 4.
In Belgium, I would give it maybe a 6.
I would like to give India a 6.
6.5.
I would rate Mexico with an 8.
I do believe that Taiwanese government should have a stricter policy towards migrant workers to help with their health, to help with their well-being.
There's still a lot of room for improvement in terms of how migrants are welcome in the first place, but also how they are able to integrate into society, how they can labor protection.
I think there are some more things which Indian government should make sure when dealing with such migrant workers, like opening up some small NGOs for these migrant workers itself.
I feel like our government is doing a very good job of opening these opportunities to immigrants. And I think the reason for them doing this is to improve our economy, which is also a good thing. I think they should also think about the local employment opportunities before giving more chances to immigrants.
In general, I think it's an open society, quite like warm in receiving new people. In a bad way, there is a lack of preoccupation and interest from the authorities to help the immigration to get integrated with all the rights that they have to have as human beings.
I would sincerely like to thank them from bottom of my heart for coming to India and helping us.
I would like to say thank you to every one of them because they are like given an opportunity and a new life in Mexico.
Keep doing what you're doing and don't give up. You're doing this for yourself and for your family, or make our country proud.
I am a migrant worker too. I know what it feels. We have to be strong and we have to be also conscious of the labor that we do and that the important role that we have in society.
I'm just very grateful to have you all as truthful friends who bring in such amazing culture for Taiwan.